Well, U.S. mediators are working on a proposal to halt hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah as Israel pressed its offensive on Lebanon. White House officials Brett McGurk and Amos Hochstein will visit Israel on Thursday to hold talks with their Israeli counterparts on a range of issues. Let's get more on this and bring in Makram Rabah, who is an assistant professor at American University of Beirut. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Now, how realistic is the possibility of a ceasefire here at least, and what are the chances of success, and what would that success actually perhaps look like?
Well, this question has been asked to me in the last couple of days, and my answer to it is simply, if you were in the shoes of Netanyahu, would you take your foot off the pedal? I don't think that, given what's happening, what has been transpiring in the ongoing war between Hezbollah and Israel, that the Israeli military or even the Israeli government has felt any need to stop its ongoing military operations against one of the top Iranian proxy militias in the region. And given how the course of events have been transpiring, specifically today, with the escalation in the eastern part of the country, I do believe that going into the US elections, Netanyahu will use this as a pretext to continue going until he can claim that he has achieved the intention of destroying what remains of Hezbollah's military infrastructure, which is not an easy thing to do.
Well, absolutely. So the thing is, you mentioned this as an Iranian proxy. Shouldn't the interlocutor then really be Tehran rather than actually going to Hezbollah directly?
This is one more reason why I think that this won't work. By talking to someone who has been at the moment hijacked, or actually there's a mandate directly from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, we believe that after the assassination of the top leadership of Hezbollah, and despite the appointment of a new Secretary General, the people who are running the show are the Iranians. So in a way, this ongoing proxy war will continue, and the Iranians are clear that they want this to continue going so they can have leverage over protecting themselves against any future attacks against Iran, such as the ones we saw last week. So in essence, none of the people who are negotiating on the table, including the Biden administration, are truthful in their ongoing quest to stop the war, or actually get to a kind of a truce for a couple of days.
That brings me to the resolution 1701. Is it a red herring?
It is more than a red herring. It's actually a mirage. I think 1701 was passed within a special context. In 06, sir, we had a functioning government and we had the support of the international community, and the war in Lebanon was somewhat isolated from the region. Here, what we're seeing is a spillover from October 7, and I don't think that anyone, including the Israelis, as well as many people inside Lebanon and the region, will accept anything other than disarming of Hezbollah. Many people are being hypocritical by asking for 1701, while in reality, they want the total disarmament of Hezbollah. And as a Lebanese citizen, I believe this is the only way out. We cannot have two armies in the same state, because this goes against the Lebanese constitution, and I don't really care what the UN Security Council wants. At the end of the day, this war has to end with the Lebanese state taking over and not just another militia.
Well, of course, the Biden administration will carry on till January, but the thing is, in 6 days, all this may change with the election taking place in the United States. How does that change the game with regards to the situation on the ground?
Well, while in fact the next administration will take over in January, getting their people into Congress and getting them vetted and all of this will go into spring. I don't believe that a Republican or a Democratic administration in the White House will change much, because as you are well aware, that Netanyahu has been very careful in tiptoeing through these restrictions, and he has a kind of a green light from the international community to continue his war against Iranian proxies. So in a way, as long as he avoids going after Iran's nuclear arsenal or going after oil and gas, there's nothing that will change with the new US administration.
Professor, thank you very much indeed. Professor Makram Rabah joining us from the American University of Beirut.